Top 20 Ecology Interview Questions and Answers. Here is a list of 20 questions that are commonly asked during ecology interviews. We have also included their best answers to help you ace your next interview. 1. Why are you interested in this role? The hiring manager wants to know why you want this job. Mention what compelled you to apply for this job and why you want to work with the company. Sample answer. I have a passion for sustainability and renewable energy. I possess a degree in environmental science. I believe that this position in your company is the right thing for me. I desire to put my degree knowledge into a good cause. I have been following updates about your company for the past few years. I love how you are changing the renewable energy landscape in the country and I would like to be part of you. 2. What are the roles of ecology? The response you provide for this question demonstrates whether you are aware of the responsibilities that await you should you be hired. The best way to respond to this question is by listing the responsibilities of an ecologist based on the needs of your potential employer. Sample answer. An ecologist does several things such as conducting environmental site evaluations, conducting habitat assessments such as presence-absence surveys, finding wetland delineations as well as coordinating endangered species management, collecting specimens, monitoring construction projects, monitoring erosion control and managing stormwater runoff, designing and overseeing fieldwork, processing, capturing, and analyzing data, compiling reports and findings, making sure that safety protocols and procedures are being followed. 3. What are the qualities that an ecologist needs to be successful? The interviewer uses this question to gauge whether you know the qualities you should have to be successful in your role as an ecologist. In your response, highlight the qualities of ecologists as you relate to the needs of the employer. Sample answer. For an ecologist to be successful, he or she must be a strong communicator, safety-minded, caring for nature, ability to work outdoors even in unfavorable climate, epistemic and aesthetic. An ecologist needs also to be patient, accurate, and attentive to details. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? The interviewer asks this question to determine your ability to handle challenges. Be honest and share one of the challenges you have encountered in your previous role and talk about how you managed the situation. Sample answer. The major challenge I encountered was working in unpleasant climatic situations, especially during cold weather. This is because of the asthmatic condition that was persistent at the time. However, I explained to my senior what I was experiencing and he understood me. He delegated the duties to my colleagues while I sat in the office to compile other reports and findings. I also sought treatment regarding my situation and I could later work without any difficulties. 5. Describe your daily routine as an ecologist. The response you will give for this question will show your interviewer if you have good time management skills as well as organizational skills. In your response, indicate how you manage your duties starting from the urgent ones. Sample answer. I always begin my day by checking through my emails and voice messages to check if there is anything that I need to attend before doing my usual duties that include conducting environmental site evaluations, conducting habitat assessments such as presence-absence surveys, finding wetland delineations as well as coordinating endangered species management, collecting specimens, monitoring construction projects, monitoring erosion control and managing stormwater runoff, designing and overseeing fieldwork, processing, capturing, and analyzing data, compiling reports and findings. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. The interviewer asks this question to find out whether your work history relates to the needs of the company. In your response, illustrates how your experience meets the needs of your potential employer. Sample answer. I have been working as an ecologist for the past 3 years. My duties involved providing technical expertise and overseeing the environmental infrastructure projects of the company. I have enough knowledge in conducting natural resource surveys, supporting cost estimates, and communicating with various parties including clients, the public, and subcontractors. I also with senior staff in the office and field. Given a chance, therefore, I will define the scope of the projects in your company and select technical approaches. I will skillfully analyze and interpret complex data for clients including the non-technical audience. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset is required for this role? This question tests your job performance. The interviewer seeks to know the attitudes you have toward this role. Highlight some of the mindsets and strategies you will use while performing this role. Sample answer. Besides being accurate and keen to details, an ecologist will need to be self-driven, observant, and meticulous. To succeed as an ecologist, one must reach useful conclusions based on the research. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? The hiring manager asks this question to test whether you are up to date with the latest trend in this industry. In your answer, demonstrate how prepared you are to handle any future challenge should any occur. Sample answer. The nature of this work is a huge challenge in itself. Looking for ways to ensure sustainable development by assisting clients to minimize environmental damage while at the same time encouraging workable economic growth is itself an enormous challenge. 9. How do you stay motivated in your work? By asking this question, the employer is seeking to understand the values that you hold strong as an ecologist. Be honest with your answer as you share your values and interests that give you morale while performing your roles. Sample answer. I am motivated by challenges. Having been able to walk over challenges, I get the strength to keep on as I look for another more challenge. This makes me better and more skilled such that I find this is the best career for me. It makes me happy when my clients can implement the findings that I provide them to make their projects a success. Additionally, I love the balance between working in the office and outdoors. The flexibility and diversity of this work is a great motivation. 10. Describe a time when you failed in this role and the lesson you learned. The response to this question portrays the kind of a person you are. The interviewer wants to know whether you can own your mistakes and learn from them. Describe a situation when you failed and state the lessons you learned. Sample answer. As you are aware, advances in information technology have helped in the gathering and robustness of field data. In my early career life, learning to use geographical information and new apps was quite challenging. Additionally, admitting that I didn't know how to use new apps was another thing that I couldn't easily admit. This made me always lag behind in submitting my reports until the day my senior pointed out the issue during a staff meeting. I was embarrassed and felt I needed to swallow my pride and seek help from my colleagues. It is the best decision I ever made since my work became easy and enjoyable thereafter. I now know that asking for help is not a sign of weakness. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this role? The employer asks this question to find out more about you. As you answer this question, points out the following. How your skills match the needs of the company. How you will make a difference in the company. Sample answer. Besides being a self-driven and result-oriented person, I hold a master's degree in natural resources. I am passionate about the conservation and support of rare and sensitive species and habitats. I have worked as an ecologist for 3 years where I have gained more skills in ensuring sustainable development. If hired, I will help to train your staff and clients to minimize environmental damage as I also encourage them to engage in environmental activities that can result in economic growth. 12. Share with us your greatest achievement. Your answer to this question will help your employer to know what you consider a success. To respond to this question, share your proudest accomplishment in this field. Sample answer. I felt accomplished every time I conducted an in-house or external training. I did this once a month and the task was rewarding. This opportunity always made me gain a lot of experience to become a well-rounded ecologist. 13. In your opinion, why are transgenic considered as a threat to environmental safety? The response you give to this question determines how knowledgeable you are in this field. Be confident in your response and keep it brief. Sample answer. Transgenic is a threat to the environment. This is because the transfer of genes between species may result in long-term or short-term unpredictable consequences. In a natural process, it takes a long to create new species since they depend on natural selection and causal mutation. This can be a relatively safe process for an ecological equilibrium. Pathogenic agents may be created in the laboratory by mistake and as a result, spread unknown diseases. Transgenic species can uncontrollably destroy ecological interactions that have taken a long to be established. The ingestion of transgenic food may also have unpredictable impacts. 14. Highlight the main chemical compounds that destroy the ozone layer. The interviewer asks this question to find out if you are an expert in this area. Demonstrate that you are knowledgeable in this industry by listing the main chemical compounds with the ability to destroy the ozone layer. Sample answer. In my opinion, the main chemical compound capable of destroying the ozone layer are the chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and freons, a chemical used in the past in air conditioners, spray cans, and refrigerators. Chlorofluorocarbons react with the ozone layer in the high atmosphere, releasing molecular oxygen, and therefore the amount of ozone in the atmosphere is reduced. Another substance that can destroy the ozone layer includes methyl bromide that is used in agricultural insecticides. 15. Why do you think thermal inversion increases air pollution? Your response to this question will illustrate whether you are well informed about the different types of pollution. Demonstrate that you are skilled in reducing environmental damage caused by different pollution. Sample answer. Thermal inversions confines air pollutants and prevent them from dispersing. A layer with warm air keeps cooler air below it. This causes the air to have solid particles that cause health issues such as exacerbation of asthma, as well as a pulmonary illness like cough, ocular discharge, and respiratory unease. This pollution can as well trigger the emergence of neoplastic and cardiovascular diseases. 16. What is eutrophication? The employer will ask this question to test your technical knowledge. The best way to respond to this question is by defining this term you relate it to the job at hand. Sample answer. Eutrophication is the process by which water gets excess nutrients to an extent that it enhances the growth of simple plant life. A good indicator of this process is the growth of plankton and algae. Eutrophication is a serious environmental problem since it causes deterioration of the quality of water and oxygen depletion in the water bodies. With the increased growth of algae, the aerobic bacteria responsible for decomposing organic materials also increases. The increase of these bacteria decreases the dissolved oxygen, hence causing fishes and other animals to die. Additionally, aerobes increase and release hydrogen sulfide, making the water to have a putrid as well as unsafe for other living beings. 17. In your opinion, what is the difference between ecological niche and habitat? The hiring manager asks this to test your knowledge in an ecosystem. State clearly the difference between ecological niche and habitat. Sample answer. Niche is a specific set of roles, resources, and strategies that a species plays within the environment. Habitat is the physical place where any particular species lives and adapts to environmental conditions, for example, grassland, mountains, etc. To be precise, habitat is the address of the species and the ecological niche is the profession of the species. 18. Can you tell me what is plutonium reprocessing? Why is it a big environmental issue? This is a technical question that the interviewer asks to gauge your knowledge and experience in environmental issues. If you have worked as an ecologist before, this should be easy for you. In your response, define the term plutonium reprocessing and why it is important. Sample answer. Plutonium is a highly radioactive chemical produced by nuclear plants from uranium. It is possible to reprocess plutonium and reuse it in nuclear plants and other places such as making bombs. Nowadays, plutonium reprocessing is done by nations such as Britain, Russia, France, and other countries with nuclear plants like Australia and Japan. Storing nuclear waste is a big environmental issue in itself. Additionally, plutonium reprocessing causes the transportation risks of radioactive materials across the oceans. As the nuclear ship travel, it poses danger to the population of many coastal countries. 19. What is your greatest weakness? When asking this question, the interviewer is seeking to learn if your weakness can interfere with job performance. The strategy here is to mention a real weakness that will not get in the way while performing your roles. Sample answer. I have been struggling with my communication skills. I have been shy and anxious in the past. I have been working on the issue and I am much better now. However, I would not say that I'm yet perfect. This won't affect my job as an ecologist. Despite being shy, I am very good at working in a team. 20. Are you considering other positions in other companies? The interviewer asks this question to assess whether they have competition in hiring you. If you have other interviews with other companies, portrays that you are keeping the options open. However, show that you favor this role in comparison to the others. Sample answer. I have had one interview last week for a similar role. However, I am passionate about your company due to the work you have been doing over the years. I'm eager to work with you if all goes well. Conclusion. You now know what to expect in your next ecology interview. The interviewer looks for a candidate who can answer these questions correctly. Study and practice them to ace your next interview.